All right, here we go. After a long extended break, Fantasy Fishing Bassmaster Rapala Fantasy Fishing is back. And just to make sure you don't forget, this is the most critical event of the season because we're coming off that break, the ICAST break, and we're getting ready for this St. Lawrence River tournament. And if you're having a good season, this is exactly when most players get derailed and forget to submit your lineup. So if you're getting this video now, stop what you're doing, enter a lineup, even if it's not your final lineup, get one in so you don't forget. The Northern Swing has begun, and this is an exciting time for Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, for Bassmaster Elite Series Angler of the Year standings, Rookie of the Year, Classic qualifications, and requalifications for the Elite Series. There's a lot of anglers with a lot on the line with 3 events to go, as well as many of you fantasy fishing players have a lot on the line left to go. Even if you don't, if you're not high in the standings, if you're not in the upper 90 percentiles for Drain the Lake in the regular fantasy fishing game, don't fret. You can still win individual events. And you can win the individual events for this group, Beat HellaBass. Link down in the description below. Password to get in is Visor. Speaking of Beat HellaBass, congratulations to Frog Dog for taking home the victory at Pickwick. I think he's already got his prize, and he is well on his way. He's already got his Omnia gift card. Also, congratulations to Top Raider 88. Got the top prize and Drain the Lake as well. He's already got his prize as well. So congratulations to both of them. They got their prizes. They're probably already cashed in. If you want to get a $25 Omnia gift card for showing off your fantasy fishing skills at the St. Lawrence River, any of the final 3 events, make sure you join the group, Beat HellaBass. The St. Lawrence River should be an amazing event as usual, and there are a few things to consider. Finally, this year, Canadian waters are back open, so the playing field gets a little bigger. Also, instead of kicking out at Waddington, the Elite Series is now down at Clayton. So they are much closer to Lake Ontario. The lake is open. The Canadian side's open. The river's wide open. The playing field got bigger. And the drives to the lake where the biggest smallmouth live and the biggest bags come from is a shorter drive. So that means a more fishing time for your favorite anglers that like to go out in the lake and mine for those big offshore smallies. So take that into consideration when you look back through the history. Most of these events have gone on to Waddington. A few of them have gone on to Clayton. A few of them, they've allowed the anglers to make the run from Waddington to Ontario. And that typically, if the weather holds, that's how these tournaments are won. So if we get good weather, low winds, and they're able to get on the lake, I think this is the year that we see 100 pounds of just all smallmouth, 20 smallmouth to go 100 pounds. Somebody gets their first 100-pound Century Belt, maybe multiples, in an all smallmouth tournament. That being said, we are late spring, early summer. I do think there's still going to be some spawning going on. There's going to be some late spawners on the lake. I think some guys will capitalize. It'll be a mixture of fishing and looking at them. And even there'll be everything from bedding to offshore fishing and everywhere in between in the river and the lake. Really what will come down to is what anglers can target the 5-pound plus smallmouth consistently and get those bags that are in the mid to upper 20s consistently for 4 days in a row. Those are the people that are going to be in the top 10 and contending for a win. 18 to 20 pounds a day is going to be very average and pedestrian in this tournament. If you don't think you got the chops to beat everybody in fantasy fishing and you just want to get yourself a good deal on some great tackle and some great customer service, check out Omnia Fishing. The link is down in the below. You're supporting the companies that are supporting this show and this channel and saving yourself some money. And you can use the code down in the description. Now let's jump into the picks and Bucket E. Paul Mueller is getting a lot of owner percentage here. So is Mike Agnelli. They're the big names, the big winners. They're from the Northeast. They probably should have pretty good events. Judson Atkins, also notably one of the most talented anglers in this bucket, a former Forest Wood Cup winner. He needs to have 3 good events if he's going to have a chance to requalify. So if you're looking for somebody that's got a lot on the line, Atkins needs to catch him here and in the next 2 events after that. I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble here in Bucket E, and I'm going to go with Blue Ash, Ohio's Alex Redwine. He had a pretty solid event here in the Bassmaster Open in September on the St. Lawrence River, out of the same area of the river. And I think he is looking to cash his first big check of the year. I think he's going to make a little bit of splash. He's been waiting all year. I've heard him on podcasts. He's excited to go north and fish for smallmouth. And hopefully this is his breakout event and gives me some solid points in Bucket E. Bucket D, Felix. Austin Felix, the Sleepy Assassin's getting the headlines here, and I think he will have a very solid event. No shame in picking Austin Felix, Minnesota's own. I think he could do really well here. Brock Mosley, kind of known as a big chatterbait largemouth guy, has had some really good events on both smallmouth and largemouth out of the Waddington area. Maybe he can replicate that and have a good event down here as well. Uncharacteristically bad year for Brock Mosley so far in Bucket D, where he's not used to being. So, he's going to be hungry going north here. Jonathan Kelly, also Had a top 10 in the Bassmaster Open here. He is a good sleeper dark horse pick here. Definitely could consider him, but I am going to go Bernie Schultz. Bernie Schultz has had more experience here than just about anybody in the field. He's consistently done super good here. He's got a bunch of top 10s. He's been close to winning here. He's really good at, he had kind of his own deal for fishing for shallow smallmouth. Being this early in the year should fit right into his wheelhouse. And the few years he's had bad events have usually been because of mechanical problems. I think Bernie Schultz is a solid pick on Bucket D. He's not just a Florida angler. He actually does better up north fishing for smallmouth than he does for Florida largies. Bucket C, there's some interesting pick here. You got guys like Josh Douglas, Clark Wentland, Pipkins, guys that have done very well. Micah Frazier, a former winner here. Greg DePalma, very familiar. He's done well here, dragging a sea rig and things like that for a big smallmouth. Bob Downey. There's a lot of Minnesota anglers, smallmouth talent here. Clark Wentland has some really good success out on the lake. I think he is a cagey veteran. He'll get out on that lake and catch them no matter what, no matter the weather. But I'm going Llama. I'm going Minnesota zone. He's had a so-so year following up his angler of the year, and I know he's hungry to stock some big shallow smallies, throwing his hair jig, throwing some other sneaky secrets and flukes and crazy stuff, and he's going to catch some big bags, and he's going to be right there in the mix. I expect a top 10 out of the Llama this week. Bucket B, if you're looking for a friendly Canadian that's not in Bucket A, look at Gussie. He's had a really solid track record here with several top 20 finishes, been very consistent. He's got the boat for the big waves with his Lund. Jamie Hartman looking to have a good event. Originally a New York angler. Chase Accurate was in Rookie of the Year, still in contention for that. You know, he's one of those anglers like Kelly, like Redwine, that have been excited for the smallmouth swing. So look for him to, you know, show off his smallmouth skills. But in the end, it's really hard to look past the defending champ, Taco Itu, who coined the phrase smallmouth Disneyland. And I think it's going to be taco time again this year, this week. And I think he's going to have a big event. I'm going to go with the majority here. We took a few risks down in Bucket D and Bucket E, but we're going to go chalk in Bucket B. Bucket A, full of talent. So many good anglers to pick from. Not going to name them all. John Cox has had success here, especially early in the year, fishing shallow, even without his depth finders. If he can see him, he can catch him. He could be really dangerous. Polnick, leading the AOI, has won here before, is super consistent, hard not to pick him. Then you got both the Johnson brothers. Chris, Corey, one's won an Open, one's won an Elite Series. They've both been very good here. Outside of mechanical finishes, they basically both finish average like a 4th to 8th place finish when they come out here. I'm going to go slightly lower percentage. I'm going to go with Corey. I think he's due to get his first Elite Series win. And so I'm going to take a little bit of the underdog in the Johnson brothers. But you can't go wrong with either Johnson brothers or Polnick. Choose your favorite and have a good fantasy week out of Bucket A. Tiebreaker, looking at I actually am a little pessimistic. I think I'll put 99 pounds, 9 ounces. We'll see. I hope they break the 100 pound. I'm going to root from the 100 pound, but I feel like there's a chance they're going to come up just a touch short. So we'll see. What do you guys think? Above or below 100 pounds? Let me know in the comments. Now on to Drain the Lake. So if you've managed your roster correctly this year, you should have saved several good smallmouth anglers for this point in the year, and hopefully you've got a very stacked lineup to put in for Drain the Lake. All right, so we saved Seth Fighter. He's going in. We're putting in Ike, both Johnson brothers, Taco Itu, Brandon Polnick, Bernie Schultz, and lastly, a little bit of a dark horse here. We're going with the aforementioned Jonathan Kelly. There is our 8 angler roster. Hopefully you saved some good anglers for the end of the year for these last 3 events and you've managed well. And again, reminder, still join the group, beat HellaBass. You can still get the code in Omnia and save some great deals on some great tackle and great gear, along with great customer service and super fast shipping. If all this fancy fish stocks got you all riled up and you just want to see some fishing action, check out this video right here. We just slammed them, frogging and flipping on a Riesel fishing trip.